Gosh. Oh my gosh. Hello. Oh my gosh. It's been a while. I have been very busy. I oh my gosh, there's been so many changes. What I did was I ended up, I launched with you all. I had no expectations. And then at the very end, like and it was so sweet. It was like before the last holidays, the second half of December, you fill that in. And I was notified that I had passed all the exams and then I began to launch as you all launch. I described that you all were launching. And I said, well, maybe I launched in my psychic abilities because I also my mind became just open to everything psychically. And so what happened was is that I did launch you all, but I launched in the way that I spoke about in the psychic predictions. And that's what I always say. Universe is amazing, and sometimes, we are figuratively speaking for ourselves, but no, we have to trust this. We have to trust uh, the universe and the process. What goes for you all goes for me as well. So I just hadn't included myself, but then I included myself, and well, they included me, and which puts me back on the map in the USA, United States of America, America. So my start of year is going amazing. I could sense. I mean, there's still some high tension in the air, but it has all of the promise and all of the resource, if you want to say, is there. It's it's just a different time. It's a different vibe, and we're peeling away. Um, like I've been describing that people, or we are, I should say, are the armor is falling off and the heart is more open, uh, more, if you want to say, more sensitive to energies. So we're a little bit more sensitive. Well, anyways, so I'm back in the USA and I have elevated beyond my imagination. Sometimes I have to like squint because I'm like, oh, like, oh, I undercut. Then it was just like, wait a minute, let me blink. No, I quadruple exceeded? Like what? So it's like, you know, uh it's like I went as low as I could go, and now I'm at the highest of my mind. It's exceeding what my mind believes in the present. Like when I'm looking and I'm reading the emails, I'm looking at numbers, I'm like, my mind, I have to do a double take because I'm so used to looking for the lowest margin, and now I'm looking at numbers that exceed. No, it's like, no, it's quadruple than anything, any number that you've ever, like your best numbers, your best days could not even imagine this day. So I'm like, that's where it so I'm like, is this a reality? But it's like, yeah, this is your reality. Set aside, it's a bit tricky because of the nature of the climate is still a little thick, but I mean, I worked my tail off of it. Like I really fought and I studied and I had some IE in there, but no, I had when it went into like what they say like Europe centric, like big based companies, right? I didn't mean to, excuse me, I didn't mean to say centric, but you know what I mean. In Europe, I mean real Europe, motherland Europe, and so like Europe, Ireland. I mean, there's all Spain, like Italy, Portugal, all the what is it? The AU? Yeah, the AU or AE. I believe it's the AE. Yeah, AE. I believe it's AE. Well, the Arabic I like to say the Arabic kingdom. So India, over there, South Africa, so I was reading, these individuals, Ireland, or I did say Ireland, Scotland. Yeah, so I was reading through the lords and the ladies and the princes of the world. And so that's how I sort of bolstered, I guess, I had to go for a different type of street cred. I had to go, yeah, I had to go up there. Well, so I ended up I took on a position under five famous psychics. Five famous psychics. So I always, how I, raise my vibration, I say, yeah, each famous psychic represents one star. I have 5 stars. So they became my sort of, 5 stars in my head, right? Well, the company that I'm with now, it like there's no comparison. Even when I put all of the companies together, the company that I'm with now, it surpasses in every way. Um, but I needed to go through those other companies to get to the place where I could march in there and deliver, the interviews I needed to, because I had to do interviews. I mean, like these interviews are tough. So, like it's audition element, and then there's an interview element, and then you do the psychic reading. It's not like, oh, you're here. Okay. Well, read for me. No, it's so much more than that. And it's like they've given me all of the abilities to do what I always felt that a company could do. And I even starting to realize like there are opportunities that just, I mean, I always like to word it differently because, I still have a faith, you call it kind naivety, I don't care. I still have a love for the world in itself, right? So I always like to say, they just didn't want to do it. So I just keep it simple like that. It's like they could have, and sometimes they just blocked me and just like, they're like, it was just like, no, I don't know about that. You know how when you're in a conversation and when you're, and then you say exactly what they're going to say, and they say, well, no, not really. It's more like, well, I was getting that in the professional world and undeserved. Like I'm doing so much more. Like I'm able to write, I help deliver the contents, and I'm also doing my readings, and I'm rewarded for that. And I'm not used to that because that was what I would have to do. What my bare minimum is doing that just to get out the door with, I'm gonna be honest, if I may be blunt, we're all adults here, right? To be paid. Walk out the door with a check. I'd have to do that. That would be my bare minimum was to do it. But now but all the time that I spent doing it, I have perfected it though. It is crisp. And so what I'm talking about, so that, we're on the same page here. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to, well, let me get back to why the thumbnail. So you see the psi symbol, so that's psi and then psychic, and okay, there you go. So okay, so the company I'm with now, they have this beautiful like feature, right? Is AI, the artificial intelligence. And like this conversation, I would later, rather than me having to replay this and, oh yeah, I said this, or taking notes at the same time. Well, I can do that in addition to the AI features actually, you know, like write out, even like it's sort of empathic. It'll like let me know like how based on what you would say maybe in the chat, even in the chat, because it does it for chat, like writing, it does it for voice and also messages, and it'll sort of put it into a paragraph and even convey to me like how you felt. Oh, left you feeling warmly, or I suggested in a firm way that you should do this and that, and it should be amazing. And the way that it puts it is like it's kind of, just like a walking with me. a companion. It's like a companion. So I think it's amazing, right? And so my traditional gift is because I've been doing this for so long and I didn't have an AI. There was an AI for me, at least not on my end. Maybe I think on their end, but not on my end. Um, it would be I would have to if there were notes to take, which I didn't need notes because when I read for a person, it's like it's being recorded in a book. And then, like, if they call a year later, whatever the time they call next week, it's like I just go to this place and not that I have to, like, oh, let me check out this book and regurgitate. No, it's more like we start with the reading. People say, I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, oh, I will remember you once we start talking. So we start talking, and then it's like, oh, yeah, I do. And I recall, then it'll like take me to a very specific page in the book, a specific section. I read that, and the more that I read a person, the more details I pick up on. So I'm like, oh, by the way, this is happening, and I understand why it's happening. Even it's like, oh, so this is why this needs to take place because this is what's happening. And then I'm able to relay that, and they're like, oh, it is like they're hearing, oh, by the way, this is happening in within the first few minutes of our reading. Like, so I start like in the very first minute. It's like, "Hi, how are you? It's great." It's like, "Okay, so what are you here for?" Basically, I'm like, "Let's get to it." So I start immediately, and I don't, ask any questions unless I do say I've learned just because I think people are on the go, and if like myself, if I called someone, I already had it in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to forget what I'm going to say. I don't want to forget what I'm going to say. So instead, I just say, is there anything where you would like us to begin? And then I start from there. Okay. So, so I'm able to start from there, and then it happens. But so that's how. Okay. So that's how it plays out. Okay. All right. Okay. Making sure. Okay. So that's how it plays out. And um, so a person, I got distracted because something was coming through. Okay, so people will call in, I will read for them, and then when I read for them, I'm able to um, give them information. So I give them information, and they will take the information, but I always build on that. So the next time that we speak, so that's the way that it flows for me. That's the way it's always worked out. And then once that happens, it all comes together. It all comes together, and I'm able to bring it to the front. I'm able to bring it closer to what the reading represents. So whatever they're here for. So I always ask, like, so how can I assist you? How can I help you? So something to that effects. So so I'm able to do that naturally, but now with the AI, I'm able to do what I do naturally, but now I've got the AI feature and it's just amazing. So I just wanted to come in, and basically that's where this live begins. hmm Is because AI is like it's meant to bring and meant to connect to people. It's meant to connect us, I think. I think that um what it does for me, it allows for me to continue a reading. Because of the AI feature, I'm able to, um, rather than think back in my notes or say, oh well, this person was deep in emotion. Maybe I should meditate. I can now uh, choose any one of my clients. Well, of course, I would choose them all. Why choose one or two? So I would choose them all, but I read them all, or I continue all of their readings more or less individually. So I just keep on reading. So I just keep reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. And whether they're present or not. And then I can like invite them. And of course, they're able to also reply. So it's not like just me talking at them, but they can even reply back to me in some way. It's like a minute. They're able to talk to me for a minute, but they can send as many. Like he sent, somebody sent me like a minute each, but two messages, so that's 2 minutes, and then I sent back one message. The way that that flowed was they sent me a message, and then of course I know how to I read people. It's like I just know the whole story, and so I sent my message as they sent the second message, but I answered both of their messages because I'm just ahead of it. So yeah, so I mean it's amazing. So I'm just in my brain. I'm like, AI is fabulous. Um, and it's allowed me to feel good about this new journey. So I'm still trying to piece it together and bring it and make it work. But I do think that this is teaching me it's another diadem. Like it's teaching me how to engage through social media because the functionalities is likened to just in a more concentrated and focused area, which be for me would be the psychic industry. So it's like it focused all of that time, all of that energy into one place, and I'm able to like like channel that all of my energy, but at the same time it's like it's preparing me for all of this. And I thought that it was going to teach me some things, but specifically with the whole video element, which is not as frequented. I'm not as frequented through via the video as I am like through the phone or the chat, which I love. I don't mind. I love all three actually. So so basically, it's coming together where I'm able to I'm able to channel all of the ideas into all the ideas that I was like, oh yeah, I got to be ready for the day that I become, more integrated into social media, and so I now have a canvas and the most important canvas, like the foundation, more like etching in the foundations. So that means I will, what I'm learning right now and what I'm sort of, I guess, what's being set up on my behalf. Thank you so much, Psychic Source. Thank you so much. So what's being set up is that's a sneaky way to name drop. Oh, so basically, I'm able to channel this new type of information where I I mean, I don't call it a reading. I call it a spiritually guided message from me to you. So I say like a spiritually guided message to, then I say the person's name from me, and then it gives me like I think 900 characters. That's like 150 words. And so that's like a paragraph. And I'm able to pass that information along to you. Well, and I do this individually. Or I am doing this individually. So that means each message is unique to the person I read, and AI is allowing me to do that. AI allows me to operate and to focus in these areas so that I can get that individual message. That means I'm not just reading. I'm not able to, that just because this is like saying, so you're able to hold a conversation. It's like, are you holding a conversation with yourself, or are you truly holding a conversation with someone? Who knows? You might have thought that it was spirits. Maybe it's somebody who you haven't met yet. That's when you're using, law of attraction, or maybe you've met them, but you're in dialogue with them. That's happens when when you feel like really, like, what do you say, in sync with a person. So I use it in the psychic sense, though, like having read the person and then what I know of the person, because each time I read a person, I feel their energy. So, and that's what helps me so I can easily like retrieve information. Doesn't matter how long ago we've talked. And then from there, I'm keeping an eye out, because I have appointments lined out. Oh, yes, people set appointments with me now. Never in my life. I was like on call, on deck. But now, like people set up appointments. People are like, they they say thank you. I mean, it's a whole different culture. So I'm learning um, I guess, sort of mode to exist in. Like I'm learning about engagement, if that's the language that you all speak. So I'm learning about engagement. As you noticed, I haven't even addressed the chat. I haven't even addressed the chat. So it's yeah. So I'm working on. I'm not used to engaging unless I'm engaged with, but not. But now I'm learning to engage. Um, so the engagement is crucial and important. Now, when people do engage, I find that it's quite genuine. It's a genuine engagement. So I love that. And anyway, so I'm learning about that. I'm studying it. Okay, so I'm working on it, and um, so bear with me. I'll get better at it. I'll get better, and I assure you. I'll get better at it. I'm working on it. Hold on. hmm So, um, so in my mind, I believe that, well, the way that AI and I are friends, AI is it like allows for me to continue a reading. So, so I would have read a person, and of course naturally it would document, but then it's documented through the features of the AI. Then I can go read the AI, and then while the person is asleep or at work or at lunch or at dinner with a lover, with Bay, we still use Bay. I can send them the message, or maybe they're contemplating, like, yeah, they're job hunting. I can send them the message, and they actually receive it and they read it. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm continuing this trip. It's a trip. I'm continuing this journey, and I'm like really getting into this, like being more engaging with each person, like like what they call it, individually. So I'm connecting with engaging with people individually, and of course it's a great training ground for as I integrate into, like, here. I i don't mean to not, I guess I didn't quite understand engagement. I don't know. But I definitely have to engage this one. Oh, which opened up another box, because now I can consider like ebook writing, because there's a lot of writing over here now. So I even catch myself like brushing up on like how much I know about writing. Like I'll like listen to parts, like the first part, and then I'm like, if I get the answer right, what they're gonna talk about, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I know that. So like I'm taking this whole writing thing seriously, And I was where it's like, am I doing this right? Do I need to buy Grammarly? You know, Grammarly is a fantastic investment, but I took, of course, the compositions that you take in the college, but I also took a creative writing course, you know, where it's at a degree level, so it's taught through a college. And so I understand writing. So I understand my industry. I understand the information in my industry. My not then like the different things, discussions, and then yeah. So it's coming from me rather than because you have writers, right, who write for a company. They write like for business, and which they have to do research. Well, I have that research. I have years of experience since and also I grew up in the industry in the metaphysical community to be exact, and I when I transitioned into the psychic industry, like well, I was already working with clients while in school, so and I was also helping the business by helping to get the letters, the invitation letters. We called them newsletters, and we would have to trifold the letters, or it was like a pamphlet, into an envelope, seal it, put a stamp on it, and then we would have it all done by like 11 or something, and then we could go out to eat. And we love Chinese. So that's what I did with my childhood. And and then of course, so I would read professionally then, and then I paved my way right into reading for online, and now here I am today, many years later. Many years later, now I'm reading online, but I'm reading phone, online, etc., chat, and all that. I also love the idea that I can remote again, because before, whew, there was so many restrictions. Like everything had to be like, like my phone. It couldn't be like my cell phone. Now you know, I can plan to go out, and I've got people away from me enough. Oh boy, and something else. I know I'm in a good place because all the people who I don't want to contact me are trying to contact me. But I was in my brain. My brain was like, uh, give God the praise. I heard that before. And all I could think was this guy shuffling, like doing the shuffle dance. I was like, give God the glory. I was like, delete. It was like, I am not letting in. Delete. I am not. Because I already know what they're supposed to say. They're supposed to come in and be all negative and bum me out. And I'm like, because they only reach out to me only when they see my activity on, so, and I don't want them. I was frustrated because they were putting their I want to say nose. They're putting their vibe, and they started behaving more like worse than strangers. Like strangers were being more kind, were being more engaging than they. So I'm like, no. The only way you can reach out to me is through the Facebook. You have a personal relationship because you know me personally, and you're you're making my environment toxic for me to where I'm trying to dodge you on my own, like login. I'm like sitting in my own chair and trying to log in. I'm trying to see if I can dodge you or quickly post what I need to post and get out of there. And then it's like I'll post something, and then they would do something they'd be toxic. And these are people that are close to the campfire. So the moment I saw it, I was like, with all the grace I had, I deleted it. I did not accept. So I was like, no, you don't belong there. You I'm like, I'm tired of giving them a number, the proper number to reach out to me because we have a direct connection. So clearly we don't have a direct connection. So, and I definitely don't want them on my face, on my any of my social medias. So, and to be even more positive on my side, I've never been happier. Like I'm enjoying, my heart is lifted, and I feel my creativity is free. You know, sometimes you just got to say, not today. No. Hold on. Not, how did I say it? Oh, that's a hard pass, Dad. Don't be afraid to say, that's a hard pass, Dad. That's a hard pass, Dad. I don't have a dad. I have a dad, but I'm talking about the divine dad. So yeah, I got my dad and my mom is divine. I got the divine mother and the divine dad, and we're good over here. We don't need anybody else. So I know you. Yeah, well, you have your life to live, and people often have lived theirs, and you need to live yours. You need to allow yourself to live yours. You have to allow yourself to receive the gifts you want. And so I'm just excited that I am allowing myself to receive the good things that are meant for me, because as much as I don't want to admit it, it was deliberately kept from me the ability to do what I needed to do for to so that others can expand. And then of course the reward of that comes back to me. Yes. So now that I am in possession of it, I guard it with my now I know why they say guard it with your life. You have to. You have to guard it with your life. And they should even put a little clause in there. It's not just guarding this with your life, but who you're guarding it from. Often it's going to be someone who was in your life. I'm guarding things that were from people who were in my life. So, yeah, it's not always the stranger. But maybe they are stranger because what you thought of them or what you thought you knew of them turned out to not be what they are to you in the spirit world. So we'll talk about we know, okay, obviously they are who they are in the 3D world, in this world, this reality, but who are they in in your psychic world, in your psychic space? So I learned that's what I had learned. I learned that. So I had to like get that like picked up like pretty fast. Like, oh, it took me a while because I had to like it was like a barrier there. I just couldn't. I mean, the way that I think is no. Even now, I have to word it differently so that my psyche understands it. My heart and my psyche understands it. Like, um, I know that I, did everything that I was supposed to do to land the interview and pass the interview. And I did it myself. And no encouragement because of what I do. I'm a psychic. So the encouragement actually comes from people who need it, who need the readings. It doesn't come from anyone else. So it's all me. It's all me. And I like to say it's all me in the spirit world, or if you, or I know some of you might say God or universe, but it's just me and universe. And so I worked very hard and I did it myself, and that means I have to also compete. So whoever I competed, up against, I had to do that and to prevail. But the ones that were hindering me were not, I would not, it would be dishonorable for me to say that they are competitors. They're not competing. They were blocking. They were blocking or keeping me because it wasn't they who I'm supposed to be competing with. I'm supposed to be working with them or for them. So um so I'll always remember that, but I always have to word it differently because I don't want it to be anything like hateful, and I don't want it to be anything, you know. At least I'm spared of having to not be in the right frame of mind where I'm blaming it on, oh, it's race. It has nothing. No, because this group they're diverse. They're diversified, multi-diversified. So it's not anything to do with that. Just saying. I hate that I have to even say that. Okay, but so well, anyways, I earned this one. The job, the position I'm in now, which I'm a professional expert advisor. I worked and anybody who I beat out, I genuinely beat them out. It's not because of anything more. It wasn't even because of my smile and my personality. Though that comes with that's what no, I had to do extra. I had to be like, I right now work under, or I serve under five famous psychics. I read for I had to put I graduated University of Metaphysical Sciences, higher educational department. I took a writing course, creative writing course. I can write. I can read. I can type. So I had to like. It was a little bit more than just being, you know, Isaiah. So, yeah. That is just how I'm supposed to wake up. Okay, I'm supposed to wake up that way. It's like, okay, that's how you wake up every day. But what have you learned in all these years? So with that said, I'm able to now also like my gosh. It's like they're also speaking like clear to me and respectful to me and professional to me, which um I do that. So I'm shocked when other people do it because I don't encounter it. I have not encountered, excuse me, I have not encountered it in the past too often. Like cause some have like, they'll be nice to you in the start and then you realize, oh, what did I get myself into? This one is like full on support, like full on like, I got you. I got your back. I have your back. Completely support. And they truly, genuinely care about the integrity between the would be the caller or the client and the psychic myself. Truly in high integrity. And it's not like one sided either. So that's what I meant by integrity, and I had never encountered that. And often companies, they kind of, in the conversational tone, they kind of shift the level of intensity more on their end. So sometimes they can be quite difficult to interact with because it's like you're explaining to someone who is not genuinely in the industry, like how, and explain to them how it works, how your gift works. They're like, we don't care. That's, well, we don't work like that. Well, you won't make it here because that's not what this does. I'm like, well, what does a psychic do? Do you do you even know? But then come to find out, they told me, they said, well, we're really looking for like coachy types. I'm like, oh, that's not only what I do. Yeah, they didn't. So I think that I always struggled with the same thing that many teachers struggled with when I struggled growing up is I knew things and people could not explain or calculate how I knew it. But rather than celebrate it, like, oh, well, you got the answer right, rather than that, it's more like, um, you know, because I have this ability. Well, I have this ability to. One of the companies I would do really well. When I start doing really well, I noticed that that's when I would start to trigger these weird vibes from people. I'm like, I'm doing this for you. It's under your label. Like, shouldn't you be amazed? But they're trying to, I guess, sort of um, find my patterns or how I do it. And now, in addition, I'm able to even read people with like it's like a continuation of a reading. And of course, I read and I speak as a matter of fact. So yeah, words like, well, who knows the future? Who knows the future? Yeah, who knows the future? But right now we're having a psychic reading, and so we can find out certain things that we normally didn't know. So, but yeah, I'm able to like you know, take whatever is written by the AI, read off of that, and then put it in about 900 characters, like a little more than 150 words, like a paragraph, and then send it into, uniquely. And we're having conversations of not that, oh, what are you talking about? Who you think you were? What? They're like, whoa, it's almost like they make me feel like, am I intruding? That was the guys. The ladies are like, I don't I don't know. Well, we are exclusive. And, they like give me the answers like, well, if you must know, I was but in my brain, I was so happy because they received it in the morning. Because I sent it in the morning and they got back with me like an hour late. And it was like in the wee early out in the morning. Like they're waking up and they're like reading this message. They're like, how did you like how did you figure this out? And a few of them are like, we had just talked. So yeah. But some then I guess it was more like a little maybe a few weeks ago or a month ago. So I've been doing that. And yeah. So it's going pretty well. So that's where I've been. And because this is big and it's so much more bigger than me. And I need that. I need that. I need the bigger than me situation because the beauty of AI is that this is bigger than me. It surpasses what I think how the world runs. The world is teaching me, is showing me how the world runs. And also I said, now I'm going to be quiet. Isn't that, well, you got what you wanted now you're going to be quiet, right? There's nothing more to complain about. No, not really. It's not because of that. Um, it's because it's just that I really, really do need to like set people on this. I just feel like I just need to like set them on an empowering journey to where they just feel like completely like just nothing can stop them now. Nothing can hold them back. So I'm just thrilled that this is going to be amazing. I'm wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm just thrilled that this journey with you all and that journey is going to be amazing. So this has opened up another pathway for me to consider doing more because they allow me to do like I guess like documents like or PDF style like file like an upload for my clients, so I can begin looking at the idea of writing an ebook, which that's what I want to do. um, I even have a software. I mean, I had the software idea and expensive side, but I can also do a absolutely totally free one as well. And still, it's well for what I'm using it for in this sector. It would be fabulous, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm still like in my brain. I'm like, do I need to buy the Office, Microsoft Office? It's not so much as sending verbiage, but I like pictures. I like to sometimes like I imagine that if it's a ebook, like I would sometimes want a different color of the I guess of the background or backdrop, or a very soft like black and white, like the image like an illustration on each of the pages. I'm thinking it so far ahead, but at the same time, it's like, will this work? But like, what if I want borders? I'm like, doesn't it be written like a book? Or but but I have found some amazing ebook software where it allows me to also insert videos and things like that, and links and sort of like if I want to do polls. What's the other one? If I want to, like write out something and then like make a quiz of it or something, I can do all kinds of things with it. So so far as the writing aspect goes, AI is helping with that. So, anyways, yeah, I'm just figuring it all out, and it's more or less is piecing together. I'm piecing it all together a little bit at a time. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, I have a few. Nice. Uh, okay, so they're more like in the evening. Okay, and a little bit of a reminder. Um, okay. Okay. Got it. All right. So I've got some people that want to talk to me. Okay. Let me make sure that while I'm here. Um, so they're reaching out to me like after like 8 or 9. Oh, I like to start at. I've been starting at 6 my time. Oh, okay, I get it. It's like Eastern time. I've been starting 6 my time, I guess. Well, it still covers them. Okay. Anyway, I I'm being booked, being booked right now. So people are like fitting in their appointments and things like that. Okay. So and I've been on for about an hour, almost an hour. So yeah. So yeah, there's just a lot, amazing things that I'm now, that are at my fingertips. Um, and what's interesting is when I was getting these ideas of what I could do, I didn't feel safe. I did not feel safe, which meant I didn't feel supported. Like if I did it, it would be like what they call it, like a forbidden act or something. So now I'm giving all the tools to do those things that I dreamed of. So right now I am in my dream. I'm living my dream. Of course, the other aspects of living that dream is someday to be on the road traveling, doing what I was doing, where I'm like, I traveled somewhere and I'm writing and working with clients and enjoying the beautiful scenery, and maybe go out and try, the natives, dish, and then be back within an hour or two, back to wherever I'm staying, and then back to work. That's all I was doing. But then it was like, then there was like it was humans were like, mm-mm. And also they were uh giving me, they kept me from natural readings that I know how to do, and was giving me like, it was like they were like trying to put me in subject matters that were unpleasant. Yep, and that is, I hate admitting it, but that was also deliberate. And this one, it's whoever wants to talk with me, they can. So it's not, it's not like, oh, give psychic me, oh, though, give them those. I'm not saying that not everybody's readings are bad, but we'll talk about the quality of the readings. There were quality issues, and that was deliberately allowed. And here it's forbidden. So yeah, it's forbidden here. So it's like very, very clean, very clear vibes here. Just very lovely, very freeing. I can breathe, no tension, no stress. It's just do what you love to do, create. But when I did that, when I accepted that this time, I had went all the way to the bottom. I had to though. Universe was like, you went as high as you could go. You can, like, how much higher can you go? No, you've talked to people that other people, you can get in contact with people that other people cannot get in contact with these kind of people. So I said, well, if you've gone up, the only other you've gone up, and you've gone every, like, all of 360. So the only direction to go is descent. I had to descend. Oh my God. I had to, in my dissension, which was prompted. And my dissension was, in the dissension that was imposed upon me. It was, I remember it forever. It was December 19th, that 6 days Christmas. Yeah. They really wanted me to feel like, like you, like we're just like I beat the Monopoly. I don't know what we all complained about. But anyway, so it happened. And then I just kept descending and descending and descending. And and then I broke through. So I had to clear out everything that was given, just like release it and break it. I had to break it. And then once that was broken and there were no more ties, that's when the most perfect partners or um, allowed me to join their journey. Yeah. So yeah. So I got what I wanted. And the cost was heavy. The cost was bloody heavy. A lot of soul work. And so if I even fasted. I even did a fast. And do you all remember I did a month fast, a 30-day fast, 30 days. So I did 1 month of a fast uh last year. I believe it was started in October and entered, or the first week of October, or last week of October, and to November. Yep, 30 days, 30-day fast. Hmm. Yeah. And I was just purging that, purging. And when so I was also receiving information, and then I began to heal myself physically. That's when I was saying, okay, the year's almost complete. I'm getting everybody, to into their launch. They're vibrating at a much higher frequency. Their independence, everything. My predictions all came to pass. We're ready to start bringing in the new year. And just before we're closing out wrapping it up, they reached out to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, is this happening? I had to read it again because I had to be sitting here and like, let me read this again, make sure that they said what they think. Is this what they really meant to say? So I love the idea that this is so bigger than me that I'm literally surprised and shocked at what I'm getting. I love that feeling. Like the expectations of, eh, I expected that. I did pretty well. I want more than I want literally for me to almost have to rub my eyes and say, or that is that number or that figuration or does that really say what it says? Like I want that experience again. I've had it before. So so anyway, I'm in that space. I said I want that again. Because I was thinking back, it's like I remember a time where I would be so amazed. It was like back to back, like amazing things. And I would almost, it was like I was like I was dreaming. I was like, I want that back. Like who tripped me off that? So anyways, so I went all the way deep down. And so I'm in that space again. I'm in that space. That's where I am at. Let me see. Hmm. I'm I'm just monitoring. Let me see. How do you Okay, hold on. 1 second, everybody. Okay, they're still here. Uh okay, they're calling me like kind of late. Okay, that's fine. Well, that's what I'm here for. So that means, okay, oh yeah. Tomorrow I am not missing the meeting. It's gonna be my first meeting. I missed the two. The first two. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I'm not gonna miss this one. Okay. All right. Okay, I have to go because I have to do